Do you know that there is a floating mass of debris in the Pacific Ocean? I sure didn't until recently. When I found out about it, I was like, where did this all come from? Who's taking care of it? How long is it going to be? What's it affecting? There are so many questions I needed answered. I found out that Charles Moore, in 1988, he was coming through the Pacific Ocean on his way home, and he came across an enormous stretch of floating debris. This became known as the floating continent of plastic in the Great Garbage Patch. What's interesting is that there are 3 different ones. There's one in the Sea of Japan, there's one in the Atlantic Ocean, and there's one in the Pacific. The Pacific Ocean plastic, huge thing, it's the biggest one. Now, and it goes below the surface too, like an iceberg. And it's hard to see from far away because it's such little plastic bits. There's some bigger pieces, but a lot of it's small. Here's a picture of it. That white stuff is plastic. There's a ship going into it. There are many different types of litter. There are many effects that come from this, and there are possible solutions to this problem. First, there are many different types of litter. There are so many. There's plastic bottles, plastic bags, rubber, wood, sanitary items, household items, rope, nets, oil drums from oil industries, cloth, unknown stuff that if you saw it, you wouldn't even know what it was. Fishery waste, paper, metal. How did it get there, and where did it all come from? Most of the litter comes from beachgoers, improper disposal of trash on land, sewer overthrows, and oil industry leakages. How does this pose as a threat to us? It poses as a huge threat. It affects the ecosystems in the ocean. It affects the animals. It kills them. It deforms them. Here's a picture of a turtle that became deformed because a plastic cap got stuck on it. See how it's skinny in the middle from that ring? Completely deformed. Completely. That's horrible. That's unnatural. Many different types of marine litter that play a part in the plastic continent, or in the floating continent of plastic, and on land. Next, marine litter really affects many things, some more so than others. It kills wildlife, damages boats and submarines. There's litter on beaches. It harms fisheries and local fishing. Marine life is affected especially. There's entanglement, starvation, they get strangled from the plastic or the ropes, and then they eat the plastic thinking it's food. More so seagulls, because they swoop in on their prey and without a second thought to it, and they eat the plastic. If the plastic is big, it can rupture any sort of internal organ, like the stomach, the intestines, and then if it's small enough, it'll stay in the stomach, and then plastic will just build up in there, and they won't be able to digest any normal food, and they'll die of starvation. It's insane. It affects us too. Fisheries, for example. If there's toxins happening from the litter or from oil leakages, it'll kill the fish, and then no fish, no business, There may be a solution to this problem, though. Anyone can help with litter. You can join your local community events like roadside litter pickups. In other counties, I'm sure there's some litter events that are going on. You can join like bigger organizations too. You can pursue a career in this. Like, you could go to the floating continent of plastic if you feel the passion for it. If you have passion to help the animals, you can pursue that career in helping marine animals. It's hard to deal with the actual problem though, because some of the plastic is so little and it goes below the surface, like very far below the surface, like an iceberg, like I said earlier. And you'd think like, oh, just scoop it out. But there's ecosystems now there. There's animals that, maneuver their way in between the plastic. You'll be hurting stuff in the process, animals. In conclusion, littering doesn't seem to cross many people's minds because people don't view it as a big problem, but it really, really is. It affects you and me, whether you know it or not. There are some ways you can help, as I said, local communities and organizations you can join. All litter does is ruin everything and everyone around it. It's a huge problem and it needs to be taken care of. Are you gonna help with it?